Welcome to another episode of Anime Anonymous. I'm CJ.
And this is Ace.
And we are glad you're joining us for another AA meeting, Feeding That Addiction. This week it was Ace's choice, and it was a movie, which was...
Jujutsu Kaisen 0.
All right, and it came out this year, March 18th. Yeah, March 18th for us. It released December for Japan. And apparently, as of this podcast, it's trending 9th this week. So that's not bad. It was around 130 minutes, 37, something like that. Let's just round up, 140 minutes, because I know it was over a 135. And basically, before we get into it, want to do, first of all, the rigmarole. So, you want to hit us up, Instagram, Anime Anonymous X, Twitter, Anime Anonymous,
Audius, Anime Anonymous.
But can they chat on that?
I think so.
Oh shoot! Okay, well I didn't know. There you go.
We can read the comments.
That's true. And then if you know you're old school, you want to email us. It's xanimeanonymousx@gmail.com. Any ideas you have, recommendations, thoughts. You don't agree with us, you do agree with us, whatever. That's what it's all about. But then now, before we jump fully into it, just quick minute. What your thoughts on it? Non-spoilery, because it's obviously going to get spoilery. So non-spoilery, what do you think about it?
So to preface, I watched the movie in complete Japanese. The subtitles were not sufficient.
Because we watched it by means.
Right. So, based off of that, I don't fully understand the movie in detail, and I wasn't a previous historian per se by watching the episodes prior to the movie. I was always interested. I've seen some highlights here and there. And I saw.
You haven't watched JJK?
No.
Oh,
so
shoot.
I had
okay,
no.
we're gonna have to add that. Okay.
Yeah, I had no prior information going into the movie. So I guess I would have to say that I enjoyed the movie for what it was. I think most of the action, in my opinion, was definitely towards the last 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, even in Japanese, because I am an anime watcher, like I still feel like I understood majority of what happened. But today, I'm going to have some clarification with CJ here. But overall, I think it was a solid movie. Definitely going to rewatch it in dub. And yeah.
Okay, so I watched it in dub because I was doing some stuff while it was going on. I prefer subbed, but let me preface this by saying I did enjoy the movie. Love the action, but I think it was overhyped, in my opinion, because people were raving about this movie to me, and I think it was overhyped / I don't really think it was needed, but we'll get into that right now. So
okay, so since we're getting into it,
yeah,
I definitely think it's overhyped. I definitely do not think it should have been movie box in theaters, highly marketed and promoted as it was. It was definitely a solid anime, but I think you definitely had to be a fan of the characters and kind of have some background information prior to this. But yeah, what you think?
So, because it's a prequel, I don't really think you do.
Okay.
But I was more invested. So Maki, the girl who she's the weapons user and she can't use
with the staff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she can't. So you learn it in the movie and also in the anime. She doesn't have any cursed energy, so she.
So she's just nice.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly.
All right. So I
love
that
her.
Part. Yeah.
I love her. She's one of my favorites.
She has hands.
And honestly, I was more invested in her than Yuta, like the main character. Like I don't know. Like again, I did enjoy it, but I don't think it was needed. So the whole premise of this anime movie is you start off with this kid Yuta getting bullied, and he's basically asking the bully not to, and then he says Rika don't, and you see like these ghostly arms come out, and then it skips forward and the bullies are smashed up in a locker, dead.
Okay.
Dead, done. It was nasty. And then he meets Gojo, which again, Gojo is my boy. I love Gojo. He is great in the anime. He's great in this movie.
That's who I was mostly interested in was Gojo. I'm like, what's he gonna do?
Gojo's the easy one. Gojo is a god. Like he's ridiculous. Like I think this addresses basically like, okay, for lack of a better term, you know how like the prequels in Star Wars addressed like the originals, they always talked about the Clone Wars.
Right.
This is Jujutsu Kaisen's Clone Wars.
Okay.
Because they talk about this incident that happened a year ago. They always talk about it. And then like some of the characters you meet, like, oh, he's a boss. Like during that incident, he destroyed 100 curses by himself. So like this is what they're talking about.
Okay.
I don't think it was needed though. Like I was never like, oh, I wonder what happened back then. Like, I didn't care.
It could have been a flashback. It could have been a flashback episode. A 24-minute episode flashback.
It could be a one-shot OVA.
Right.
It did not need to be 137 minutes. It could have been a quick 40.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was just too drawn out about, oh, Yuta and Rika and all this stuff. Like, I don't know. But that's a hot take. Because I know people love this movie. But, like, and again, it's not really convoluted at all. You know, Gojo comes in. So, Yuta, again, I thought you watched JJK. So, Yuta is literally the first Itadori? I think that's his name. Itadori. Itadori is the main character of Jujutsu Kaisen. Okay. He's a special grade curse. Yuta's a special grade curse. Okay. Special grade sorcerer, whatever they're called. I can't think of it right now. Okay. So he's basically like the first one. And you hear about him, I want to say in like episode 6. And like he's not revered, but you're like, oh, like who's this guy? And then you get like this sniveling kind of kid. Like he's really annoying to me because he's such a wimp at first. Like, and I think his growth is just ridiculously fast. Like he had only been there for what, like 2 months they said, and he was already like giving Maki a little bit of trouble. She was still whooping him, but like giving him a little bit. Any scene with her was like my favorite. Like when they're sparring and she jumps and he's like, yeah, she's off balance now. I'm going to get her. And she lands and she just lands into a split and then just sweeps him. He's like, how did you do that?
That was so
like,
smooth.
I'm like, that's my girl. Like,
I'm mad she don't got powers because she was definitely one of my fan favorites. If I had to.
Well, that just shows how good she is. So again, because I know just seeing how you watched it, like the subtitles were there and not there at the same time.
Right.
She's quote unquote the failure of that clan. Her family is like a high, again, sorcerer clan. It's not popping in my head the actual terminology.
Right, but that makes sense though.
But so she's a failure because she doesn't have any curse energy. Like normal humans even have some curse energy, and like it's said in the movie and in the anime. Like, some normal humans can sometimes see curses in different instances. Right. Usually, like, if they're about to die or something. Oh, okay. She has literally no curse energy at all. The only way she can see curses is she uses those glasses. And every weapon that she uses, it has curse energy, but it's not hers. Other people put the curse energy in it, and then she uses it.
So, in the classroom, when Yuta... was about to have the spirit cursed monster come out of him. Mm-hmm. She was ready. She was with the smoke. So how was she able to feel it?
She has glasses.
Oh, the glasses out.
Yeah. That's why she's always. Reaction. That's why she always has the glasses on. The glasses show that stuff. So basically what a normal sorcerer would see all the time, if she takes off the glasses, she can't see it. She puts it on, she can.
Okay,
yeah, so it's not a like it takes time to process thing. It's just another viewpoint, basically.
Okay, cool. Because when he walked into the classroom, they
Yeah,
all
she
grabbed
saw
their
it.
weapons quick. And I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah. So this movie's basically following Yuta's story because you don't meet him at all in the anime. I think he's abroad or something. Because he's a year 2 like these other ones, like Panda, like Maki, and like what's his name, the voice one, Toge, yeah. Okay. Which Toge was always funny to me because he speaks in like ingredients. It's like rice ball ingredients. So he'll say salmon, roe, Tobiko flakes, like because his.
I have to definitely pay attention to that.
Yeah, that's what he says because his actual power is cursed words. So like if he tells you die, like you're gonna die. So
when he's yelling, he's actually screaming.
That's
out a
his
word.
abilities. Yeah.
Okay.
So like
when
he'll
he took
say
that medicine or that liquid
that helps his throat because taking the cursed energy and speaking it takes a lot of a toll on you.
Oh, okay.
So like if you see like the stronger the word, the more toll it takes on him.
Okay.
Yeah. So like when they were fighting the other guy, Gojo's friend, who's the evil dude,
right.
Suguru, he told him like pummel or something, and he shot down, and then he threw up blood because he was using strong ability. That's another part that I think I kind of liked about the movie because it sounds like I'm just dogging it. Like Suguru, he is like the main antagonist in the anime too, but you're like, how do people not know it's him? Well, because they swear he died. So they're like, this looks like his scale, like something he'd do, but we literally saw him die. But this seems like something he'd do. So it's, I guess, maybe a little bit of his backstory. Honestly, I would have cared probably more knowing his backstory than Yuta's.
Yeah, because Yuta, I literally enjoyed everything except Yuta.
Yeah.
I enjoyed every single part.
Only part character. I liked was when he went crazy at the end.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's literally what I said. Like, the last 35 minutes, when Yuta is literally throwing hands and he's slicing and dicing. Yeah, that was, I'm always down for the fight and combat in anime, as you guys know. So, yeah, that was probably my favorite part for sure.
But, and then he did a move that you see in the anime when he punched Suguru. It's black energy that you see. It's called, like, Black Flash, which that's when a sorcerer, they get into this zone. They call it the zone, like, you're not even really thinking anymore. Your body and your mind are kind of just linked.
Like
which
an
makes
Ultra Instinct moment.
Almost, yeah. Which makes your power stronger. But Black Flash is harder even to do in that. And like the only person there was one person, you see him a little bit in the movie. I'm not going to spoil too much. No. He's not like main character worthy. You see him a little bit in the movie, but you see him a lot more in the anime. He had the record of like 7 Black Flashes concurrently. So like 7 hits, all were Black Flashes. Oh. And then, of course, the main character, Plot Armor, he eventually like breaks the record. But it's actually sick. Like the fight that Itadora, I think it's Itadori. His fight scene when he does that is good because he throws hands. Like
was that was an anime?
No,
okay.
I'm like, that's what I'm saying. You're gonna like the anime.
Yeah, I'm like, did I miss this?
No. He throws hands. He's legit.
So I have a question. When Yuta does the black power thing on his sword, when Gojo said that you've done this once, but you haven't mastered it to tap into it on your own free will. At the end, was he able to tap into it on his own will, or was it still kind of situational?
No. Okay. So he was tapping into it, but then he applied it too strongly. So when he tried to swipe at Suguru, his sword broke. And Suguru was like, didn't Gojo tell you like how or teach you how to apply curses like energy? You have to apply it slowly, not at once, or else the thing's gonna break. And Yuta wasn't hearing him because he was in the zone. And he just cold cocked him, and and then the Black Flash punched him.
Okay. Yeah, I was confused on that. I'm like, I thought you had training on this, sir.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't want to obviously spoil everything in the movie because there is some growth with Yuta, Rika, but again, there's not a boatload of information. It's literally just 2 set pieces. That's why I don't think it really needed a movie. Like, there's only 2 things happening. You've got Suguru's quick little one-night plan he's doing, and then you've got Yuta's I'm bullied drama. Yeah. And Maki called him out on it, and I love her. That's why I love her. She's great. She was like, why are you acting like the victim when you're the one being protected? Like, you're literally the one that's killed people. Why are you acting like, oh, woe is me? And, like, the panda is like, Maki, don't say that. Like, you should be nicer. And she's like, yeah, sorry, my bad.
So, is the panda cursed? That's why he's
the panda's, if I remember correctly, the panda's dead. Like, it's just a dead body. Like, it's like more like a puppet, but it has cursed like spirits in it.
Okay, and then when he puts on his gauntlet things,
he puts
his brass knuckles.
Yeah, he puts his cursed energy onto them so that he punches harder. But then you'll see he went from panda to like evil looking panda. Right. You remember that? That's another form that he has.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to watch that.
The anime. How you gonna pick a movie and you haven't even watched the anime?
Because it was so hyped. It was literally so hyped. It was in the movie theater and everything. And I'm like, I need to obviously maybe just watch this prequel. It was episode 0, so I'm like, all right, maybe this would be a great little intro into the.
No, true. No, that's fair. I'll give you that.
I'm gonna say I was disappointed.
That's the problem. It was overhyped. That's the issue. Like, because I usually try not to listen to those things, but when you do kind of look at it, it's just like, man, I was expecting so much more. Right. And that's what I was. Like, I was hearing hype. This thing got more ads than Demon Slayer's movie.
And so One Piece.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, like, this movie's gonna be fire.
If I would have, I'm gonna try this. I was gonna put myself in a position, but if I would have paid the movie theater for this, I would have asked for a refund, and I would have just waited.
I have seen worse movies than this in theaters.
Well, I haven't actually watched anime in theater.
That's true. Neither.
I was planning on this kind of being the first one because it was so well marketed. No, I would have asked for a refund.
No, okay. If you're doing that way, then yeah, I could see that. Because I watch my anime the comfort of my house.
Right, exactly.
I put it on my surround sound or just on my laptop, whichever one I'm feeling that day. Mm-hmm. So I can understand it. Like, again, I love Demon Slayer, and I've read the manga. I know everything. So
but Demon Slayer,
I wasn't gonna.
Beautiful art.
But even then, I didn't want to watch, like, Hell Train movie. I'm like, I already know what happened. It's fine.
Yeah, but you read it. That's
exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, and I didn't that's why I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'll watch this, because I haven't read Jujutsu Kaisen. I thought about it and never did. So I was like, oh, let me learn about this guy. And I was like, I know from little snippets that I have seen when I was researching Jujutsu Kaisen just back when I was watching it, Yuta's supposed to be like a badass. Like, he's supposed to be sick. So I'm hoping they use this movie as the jumping point for season 2 of Jujutsu and introduce Yuta, like, in the anime. Because, like I said, he's a year 2, just like Maki, Panda, and voice guy.
Right. Well, I'm definitely interested in the anime specifically for Gojo and Maki.
Gojo?
Yeah.
Gojo in the anime is so funny and so OD. Like, bro.
His presence in the movie was like, I need to see more Gojo. And that's kind of what got me to continue,
Gojo.
Be able to finish.
No.
But I'm like, this man walked in with bandages around his eyes. Everyone doesn't test him, doesn't try him, doesn't do no funny. He lifts, and I didn't know he was going to do this because I was wondering, like, so is he blind or is he using like in One Piece they have like observation hockey where you can still see, you can still see stuff around you. So I'm thinking like maybe he got like some observation hockey or something. And I'm like, all right, let's see what he pulls out. He lifts them eyes up, and you can just see the power radiating out of him like he's Goku. I'm like, oh no, he's different.
Oh yeah, no, he has some fire moments in anime. You meet him, I want to say, in either the first or second episode, and you already know from there. You're like, yo, this dude's OD. Like, right? He's hacks.
Do you remember when Kakashi was like still kind of like that mysterious, cool Jonin? That's what I felt. That I'm like, Gojo is a better version of Kakashi.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And that's just from the movie, not even seeing any prior information. So I'm excited to watch. Yeah,
you'll
Gojo.
learn a lot more about his abilities and stuff because they say it in the movie. They're like, yeah, you're the strongest and blah 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 blah, and like they kind of talk on his abilities, like his ability to kind of affect the molecules and stuff around him or something like that. The one of the enemies that he's fighting kind of comments on it, but they break it down a little bit more. And one of the funniest scenes in the anime, like he literally, like this is how much of a troll he is. He's fighting one of these strong curses, literally is bodying him. He's like, you know what? This would be a good teaching moment for my student. Literally runs back to school, grabs his student, comes back, and puts him there. He's like, all right, now watch this. And the curse, being an idiot, starts talking Spanish. He's like, oh, bringing your student here, that's stupid. He might die. He was like, no, you're weak. It's fine. He's safe. And I'm just like, this dude is different.
Well, this definitely makes me want to definitely check out the anime. I do have one last question in regards to the movie. When he went into that, I don't know if it was like a bad guys club or the enemy thing, and they were having a group meeting conversation, and then he walks out, and that's when he like puts the bandages back on. He starts like fixing his hair and like goes back to normal Gojo. Because it was in Japanese, I'm like, what was the importance of that? But it was definitely badass. So I'm like, I probably have to just watch it.
Well, so his eyes basically are a symbol of his power. So he's strong even without using them. But it's almost like the Sasuke.
Like the Sharingan and Byakugan.
So they're strong without it, but then once they use their eyes, they're even stronger. That's Gojo.
Okay.
So like
I like him.
He's overpowered already. But as soon as he uses his eyes, he can now use more abilities that he has.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, if the movie did one thing, it made me a fan of Gojo. So I'll be definitely watching the anime episodes for that, for sure. But yeah.
All right, so let's jump in because I'm excited for us to talk about the next one that we have. So yes. Out of 10, what are you rating this?
I will rate it a 6.
Okay.
And it's probably because it was all in Japanese.
No, I could see that. I think if I didn't have, you know how I am. I like to rate things separate. Right. So I'm not rating this in conjunction with the anime, but because I had prior information of characters, that's probably why I'm rating a little bit higher, but not that much. I'm rating this as 7. Okay. Because a 7 wasn't bad. The fighting is really what brought it up for me. If it didn't have those last fight sequences, it'd probably be maybe a 5. I don't know. But I also love Maki, and I learned a little bit more of her backstory.
Okay.
I learned a little bit more of Suguru, the bad guys. So, okay. And then I guess I learned about Yuta, who, again, he's mentioned in episode 6. So, like, okay, but am I in a mad rush to watch this again? No. No, I'm good. Like, I'll talk about it with somebody, so that's why it's not a 5 or a 6. Like, if somebody wants to talk about it and kind of, storyboard, like, oh, well, how do you think season 2 is going to be, without reading the manga? I'm like, well, yeah, we can talk about this and the anime and kind of figure it out. But, yeah, I'm hard-pressed to give it a 7, but logically I'm like, it wasn't bad. But it was overhyped, and I just don't think it really lived up to it. So,
yeah, I think because of the marketing, my expectations were higher than they should have been.
Yeah,
and that's why I had to drop it down to a 6.
Yeah,
and it's above average. Like a 5 is average.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, 5 is like run of the mill. Like
the last 30 minutes of action and combat pushed it up to a 6. And I'm actually interested in Gojo and Maki. And actually the voice guy as well. So I'm going to pick up the anime. So if I had to give it, did it serve its purpose as gaining a new fan? I think it did that. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with the 6.
Okay. That. Yeah. So 6, 7, average 6.5.
Right.
Sounds good. Cool. But what's definitely not going to be a 6.5?
Oh, the next one.
Next week, we are hyped. This one's going to be a longer episode, and we are going to be reviewing Arcane, the anime that kind of swept the nation for a little bit because it had people starting playing League of Legends that didn't even know League of Legends.
And I was playing League of Legends before the movie, so for it to just tie everything together with the lore and the music
it made my wife almost want to play League of Legends.
She
don't even play games. She was like, "Yo, who is this person? Like, what did they do in the game?" I'm like telling her all these. Oh, is that person in the game? Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, all of a sudden you care about games. That's crazy. Which, just speaking about that, we are going to have a special guest, which is going to be my wife joining because she off rip told me, if you guys are doing Arcane, I'm going to talk about it.
Hey.
So we're going to
welcome this wife.
So we're going to have 3 people just going ham about Arcane. So it's going to be a longer episode, but it's going to be great. Mm-hmm. Again, coming out next week. If you guys have anything maybe you want us to address next week about Arcane, maybe even want a storyboard about potentially season 2, because I know they said a season 2 is coming. So we are hyped. At the end of the day, we are hyped. So you already know it's going to be a high-rated episode.
Hey, CJ couldn't say it any better. I am super excited. I already watched it, so I can't wait to watch it again.
I can't wait to watch it again. Yep.
And can't wait to talk about it. Like it's a 10. Off rip. It's a 10.
I ain't even gonna front
it's a
you.
10.
Like, I usually am like, hey, don't say it. Yeah, it's a 10. It's a 10.
So it's not even
there's no jokes, no guesses.
Don't sleep on this. Hey, I suggest you watch it now. So by the time that you get to our podcast when we're talking about it, you're up to speed. You understand everything that's going on, and yeah. But before we leave, I do want to do a quick, very, very quick update on the crypto market. Right now, everything is still at a stability level. So this is a good time to dollar cost average into your crypto investments. But yeah, don't put all of it in at one time. Do it on a weekly basis and just put a little bit in. Pretty much everything across the board is on discount and is at a nice level and support. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have too much into it. Look for them drops as I told in the previous podcast. So for Ethereum, it's looking like around that 27 to 2,900. For Bitcoin, it's looking around that 38 to 40. And yeah, all your other top 10, try to look for that like 75 or maybe 70 to 85 price range. So, yeah, that's all I got for that. And, yeah.
All right. Well, shoot. Unless we got anything else?
No,
we're good. So, thank you for joining us for another AA meeting. Catch us next week where we will be going off about Arcane.
Yes, sir.
We're just warning you. It's going to be a long one.
But a great one. So.
It's going to be great. But until then, again, catch us on Instagram, Twitter, Audius. See, I remembered this time.
Yeah.
And email if you want to. I'm CJ.
And this is Ace.
And we'll catch you next AA meeting.